This is the May 24th edition of this journal, this diary, making a micro budget movie. What's happened in the past week? Well, it's 7 days is a long time. I believe when last I made a video, I don't think I talked to my sons yet about sort of this co directing idea. If I did, I'll apologize and briefly go over it. The idea that they are in the movie, play large parts in the movie, but they would also, based on their acting experience and their acting lessons and just their time in Hollywood, they've both worked on small productions and been in productions. They would also do some work behind the camera. And in a way, we would like co direct. Can you co direct with three people, or is there some other word? I know the Naked Gun series, for instance, was directed by, what was it, Zucker or somebody in Zucker, or was it vice versa? Abrams, something. Anyways, so we talked about that. And then probably well, I'll start with the good news, I guess. We have identified the actress to play Susie. There were two people that the acting teacher had in mind, and after a great deal of thought, she has decided, and my sons gave their blessing, I guess you could say. And I have recently seen her reel and some headshots. At this time, I'm not going to divulge her name, I don't think, for reasons that I haven't spoken with her personally yet. I know she's excited about it. She's, I don't want to give away that either. Let's just say, well, she has read the script, and again, I haven't talked to her about it or communicated firsthand with her, but apparently she likes it. But then you have to think how many actors or actresses who have the opportunity to be in a movie are going to read the script and say, wow, this isn't very good. But, the alternative is that she reads it and says, wow, this stinks, but I'll still be in it, or this stinks and I don't want to be in it. So that was good news. The sort of depressing news, and I guess not depressing, but sort of realistic, is that the person who shot my last movie, who I've been not quite hounding, but getting close, sent a number of emails. I've heard back from him a couple times saying that he couldn't really commit, that he would read the script and so on. So I finally texted him, and I'm like, don't make me call you. That'd be so 20th century. And I did hear back from him, and he reiterated the fact that due to his daughter being a senior in high school this coming school year, he could not really commit to anything that is going to be, a substantial use of his time for the time being. And so I think, as I said before, that, I've been thinking about, do I buy a camera, et cetera, and spend like $5,000 on equipment and such, or do I try to find someone? And so I don't know how much that's going to cost. And so last night I emailed a gentleman who lives not too far away, amazingly. I found his name on the Michigan Film Office directory. And again, I'm not going to say who he is. I'm sure his name would not be familiar to 99% of the people watching or listening to this. But so I laid it out. I said, this is like ultra low micro budget. I don't know what the official category would be for a movie that I don't expect in terms of cash outlays would be 25,000 at the most, hopefully hopefully less. So I'm waiting to hear back from him. I have no idea what he'll say, how much he would charge, if he would negotiate, if he would, whatever. I'm not going to suppose anything at this time. I've also reached out to the 6 main actors involved. I should say 4 actors and 2 actresses. I don't know why actresses or the industry gets offended by the term actress. I don't understand that. It's like the whole he and him and her and they and all that stuff. So I'm going to keep calling female uh, actresses, female actors, actresses. I think it's more of an honor than not. I mean, is it going to come to the point where we only have an Oscar for Best Actor and it could be a man or a woman? I don't get it. Anyways, I digress. So I reached out to them for the purposes of trying to set up a table read, which I'm hoping to do on June 2nd. And that would be super exciting. I also got pictures from the gentleman who I hope is going to play Bubsy, who is a local guy. And he sent me some pictures of a house, which I think we could use for like 4 locations. And so that's the good news. And the other news is, in kind of the same breath, he said, well, I haven't actually asked them if they would let us do it, because I told them it would be, 3 to 4 days probably. So that is kind of an if. And then he said, you are going to shoot this on nights and weekends, right? And I'm like, no, we're going to shoot it in 2 consecutive weeks. Unfortunately, the time we're going to shoot it is his busy time of the year professionally in his day job. So I've got to think about how to shoot his scenes on Saturdays and Sunday afternoons and possibly an evening or two. The good news is, in the summer, well, by that time of year, though, the days will not be lasting super long. If we were shooting this in June and July in Michigan, if I was in Michigan, it doesn't get dark till 9:30, so you can reasonably shoot a couple, quote, day scenes, especially inside after work. So anyways, I'm going to figure that out. But the other people are on board as far as I know. So really just trying to figure out how I can get this DP slash camera operator. He wouldn't necessarily have to be an operator, probably, but mainly lighting, as I've said. And would this person bring his own equipment, et cetera, et cetera? Could be a her too. I'm just going to say his generically. The other thing I did is reached out to a local like cosmetology school to see if they might know of anyone who would be interested in getting experience by doing like hair and makeup. And I just heard back from them via Facebook. So I have to email the person that they told me to email. So I'm going to do that right after I finish this. And I heard from another young man who might be interested in working on the film. I'm not super concerned about the crew. I say that now, other than the DP, but we'll see. So overall, the week has been more pluses and minuses, but I will say that after I heard back from the gentleman who said he couldn't commit, and even though I knew that was probably the case, it was, one of those flashes of, am I really going to make this film? Is it really worth making? And then even going back into the script a couple times this week, I didn't have any questions, but I said, wow, I could do this, or is that really as funny as I thought, or is this working as well as I thought? So there are those constant self-doubts, I guess you could say, moments of reflection, and they can be large or small, but I'm journaling them here for you in hopes that someday you will make your movie and you will make one of these and you'll share your story with the world. Until then, and more immediately until next time, I'm going to say cut.